Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Tiffany, a retired librarian turned homeschool mom. And in this video we're going to look at a feel-good family film because this is coming out on April Fool's Day, and why this is kind of a fun day. April is a month that's near and dear to my heart, and I wanted to cover something I enjoy. Yes, it's slightly corny, yes, it's heartwarming, and but it's fun. And I love music, so we're going to look at music of the heart with the ever-present, ever-still amazing Meryl Streep. So this is actually a fictionalized retelling of actual events. So the story tells of a woman by the name of Roberta Guaspari. She's divorced. Basically, that's where the film starts, because that's the point. She's divorced. She'd been a military wife. I think possibly Navy wife, sorry. She has two young sons. She's moved back to New York to live with her mother. Her husband had an affair. And she's a violinist. So she's geared toward an old school friend to East Harlem and this principal. And she becomes a substitute violinist and eventually creates this extracurricular violin program, in the East Harlem, where a certain number of students are able to basically learn the violin. And what ends up happening is, through budget cuts, after 10 years, she's going to lose her program. And with a combination of former students, parents, the principal of the school that she interacts with, they gather together along with a friend. She has a publicist friend who is basically, she's friends with, basically she's the wife of a violinist by the name of Arnold Steinhardt. And when basically they find out that her program's being cut, she talks to her husband. Her husband talks to a couple of other friends, and they're like, with your kids, we'll do a benefit concert. And so they plan this benefit concert, and then almost at last minute, they lose their venue. And, well, Steinhardt makes some phone calls and basically gets off season. So they perform Fiddle Fest at Carnegie Hall. So, and that's kind of the end, that's the big thing of this film, is they perform at Carnegie Hall. And then it ends with saying, which is true, she creates Opus 118, which is the program's, basically it's an ongoing music program for children in poorer communities. So that's the story of what this film tells. This is something that actually happened. Roberta Guaspari was divorced. She has two sons, Alexei and Nicholas. Alexei actually becomes a cellist. Both of them learn the violin, but Alexei becomes a cellist. Nicholas, and it does show it a little bit, he plays the piano. So they get older, they don't want to play the violin anymore, because obviously their mother's their teacher and they want to move away. So Alexei becomes a professional violinist. Nicholas learns the piano, but he becomes a doctor. So, and in the end shows that she adopts this child. So in fact, I'm going to click on her Wikipedia page. So yeah, I think she's still around. Yeah, she's an American violinist and music educator, known for her work in Harlem. So during the 80s and 90s, to keep music alive in the inner cities. So there's not much there. She was born in Rome, New York. And let's see, both of her parents have long since passed. Her mother was widowed by the time the events of this happened. She has a master's degree in music education. So let's see more. Yeah, she divorced her husband. She has two sons, Nicholas and Alexei, and later adopted a daughter from El Salvador. So, and she co-founded Opus 118, a school of music that provides music instruction to kids in developing areas. So I like this film a lot. Meryl Streep does a very good job. You have this woman she's a divorced Navy wife. She doesn't know what that has to do with her life. She has these 2 young boys, and she's pushed to start this violin program. The music teacher doesn't particularly like her because he's a white guy. She's white too, but he's been teaching a while, so he's kind of burnt down, and he doesn't like the fact that she has all this enthusiasm. Angela Bassett plays the principal, and she's at first she's skeptical, but she's like, you know what? Why not? You're trying to bring music into these kids' life, and you can teach the violin. So they end up starting this program, and becomes really one of her biggest kind of cheerleaders. And you show in the film that when they're trying to start planning this benefit, she shows up with a bunch of food. She's like, parents and teachers eat like crazy. And Meryl Streep's character, Roberta, is shocked that she's there. It's like, I don't want to... She's like, I'm not against you. This is a budget cut. This has nothing to do with me. I like you. Because it's 10 years between when she starts the program to when they're having the budget cut issues and she's being let go. So it's been a while. And it goes through how she starts this program. You're showing here, what is the actress of this film? The musician. Gloria Estefan has a part in this. She plays a friend. She's basically, when you see her at the school, she's a second grade teacher. She's like, 1, I want my daughter in your program. 2, the reason the other teachers aren't warming up to you is because you're a special program teacher and they have a tendency to come and go. So she's seen as someone who's trying to save people of color, which not necessarily. And again, this is based on a true story, so it's hard to do a white savior thing when you have actual events. She's coming into a poorer community. It's not necessarily always people of color. She just wants to teach the violin. And they become friends. And I think this is Gloria Estefan's first film, and she wanted something, give me something easy. Like, I don't want to do a lot of acting. Give me something easy, and this is kind of way. She doesn't show up that much. She has a couple of scenes, primarily with Meryl Streep. So, and it's really simple. And then you have Adrian Quinn. Now, Adrian Quinn's character is a combination of a couple different men that she was dating. At one point in time, you see how she's bought this house in Harlem, and she's having it done up, and these guys are being very, very lazy, and she throws them all out because she's irritated. The other person, I don't show he's the major, but let me see if it's going to be the cast. Because near the end, her boys are now, it jumps forward. The boys are teenagers now, and their mother isn't dating. And they want her to date. And I don't know if this is true, it might be. They write a personal ad for their mother. She finds out, they get a bunch of letters. She's pissed. And they're like, but mom, you need to date. She's like, I don't need a man in my life. I have the 2 of you. They're like, no, you need somebody else. Let's see, who the heck plays her adult son? Kieran Culkin plays Alexi as when he's, I think throughout the entire, when he's older. And then, Michael Anthony Aguirre. I can't pronounce his name. I've seen him before quite a few things, but he plays the son when he's, that's younger. I think he's, let's see. Yeah, he plays Nick when he's younger. Kieran Culkin plays him when plays Alexi. And then, let's see, I think it's Charlie Hafelmeyer plays Nicholas when he's basically an adult. So, but the 2 sons are pushing it. And let me see, where is the actor? I think it's, I think the character's name is Dan Paxton. So you have another guy who comes in, not Adrian Quinn, they don't show him on the front, where basically this is the guy that she chooses to date, and he admits that it was, essentially he lost a bet. But it's like, I like you. You don't see a real romance. They become friends though. She makes him lasagna, and he helps with Fiddlefest. He helps bringing things together, and he's there to support her. In fact, Adrian Quinn's character does in fact show up. Again, he's a combo of a couple different men that she, in real life, that she dated over time. Because again, between the start of this and the end of it, it's 10 years. So her boys go from elementary school to Nick is pretty much a full-grown adult, and Alexi's kind of almost done with school. So they're much older. They're trying to get their mother like, you need a life, Mom. Like, you seriously need a life besides teaching. But it's a fun movie. You see her interactions with these students and learning how to teach and learning how to be in Harlem. And you also see the effect on the community. Now, some of the kids you see in this film were actually her students and performed at Fiddlefest. And I know I've watched some of the extras in this film where they had to teach them how to pretend to play. Because when you do films, you're not actually playing the music. You play the music normally in a sound stage because it sounds better. And so they had to teach these kids who are used to playing how to pretend to play on screen. So, but you do see her interactions. You do see some of her adult students who do come and play. And one of the things in this kind of this big meeting where they're planning the what becomes Fiddlefest is you see the impact on the children, not necessarily musical, where one of the parents said, "This is our third child in Roberta's program. One of them's pre-med, the other one's valedictorian, because music gives them purpose. It teaches them a lot of things besides just learning to play the violin. It teaches them to have passion for something, the focus, the practice it takes to do something like this. So it also builds confidence when you're able to, you can really see your progress as you practice and get better, and what happens when you don't. So the parents, they like this program. They want their kids to learn this because it's helping them in school. And music is known to help in particularly the math. Music and math are very connected parts of the brain. I think there's a science behind that. You see that they make that other connection in another film that I covered, Mr. Holland's Opus, where they make that connection between Mr. Holland, who's musical, and his son, who goes into sciences. So yeah, the maths and the sciences connect to that. But you also see something else that happens in the impact of programs where I don't know if it's one of her students, but one of the boys in the school that's friends with some of her students is killed in a drive-by shooting. And she has to confront this with her students and deal with how they feel. And one of the boys, you see kind of the impact of it, and he didn't like this kid, and he thinks that because he this is an elementary school kid, like he wanted this kid to die, and he eventually tells his parents, it's like, you don't have that much power, kid. You don't. It happens. And it sucks. But you show this community and how this evolves and how music becomes part of it. And it's a great family film. Yes, it's slightly corny. I mean, it's a feel-good family movie, but it is based on real events. This woman did do this. Fiddlefest did happen in Carnegie Hall. I mean, it's based actually on a documentary, looking at the Wikipedia page, of Small Wonders. So that came out in 1995. So it is these events did happen. Obviously they compress a lot of characters, to narrow it down because it's a film. So, and it's being brilliantly acted by Meryl Streep, and you I think they upped a little bit of the drama there, but they did have this problem. Fiddlefest was scheduled to be in a different place, and then they do bring them in, and Isaac Stern is in the film. You have some of her original students who are in the film, people who she did have an impact on. So, and I think she may or may not have a cameo, the actual person, but she is there, obviously, because this is her program. She now runs a music conservatory for kids in disadvantaged areas who the music programs, and actually you notice this again, a theme of Mr. Holland's Opus, which is completely fictional, and you notice it everywhere, where the music and the arts programs are always on the chopping block. When you have budget cuts, those are the programs that school boards don't think are important, even though the science says they are. Kids need the music programs, they need the drama programs, they need the art programs, because it's a way to get away from the strict academics. And some kids are tactile. They're not good at the strict academics. And these are the classes that empower them and give them purpose and allow them to get through the rest of school. So, and they don't always cut the sports programs, though again, that's the other thing some people do. Again, they're tactile. But again, the main thing, they cut some of the sports programs, but again, the first thing always seems to be on the chopping block is the art programs. The choirs, the orchestras, the specific music programs, the drama programs. Those have a tendency to be the first to go. Even the painting and sculpting classes, they're on the chopping block because nobody thinks they're important, which is sad. And this shows that. It shows that they're cutting, and this is known particularly again in school districts where the funding sucks. And this happened, and they were going to cut it. And she fought, the parents fought, the community fought to fund this. And I think Fiddlefest funded the program for the next 3 years. And I'm sure they've had other benefits since then. So it's an amazing, heartwarming film. And I love it. It's one of those things you could sit down with the entire family when you're looking for something that's enjoyable, that kind of releases stress. I mean, let's face it, as homeschoolers, sometimes you need a break. You need to watch something and step away from some of the rigors of the academics and just looking at something that's just something you could sit on the couch with your kids, no matter how old or how young, and watch something that's heartwarming and fun and inspiring, and it warms your heart and it makes you feel better. That's what this film does. It's one of those. Mr. Holland Opus is one of the other ones that does this. Benefit is this is a true story. So the other, if you're looking at some of the academic stuff, if you have music kids, if you're looking at various school funding things, or just looking at charities and those communities, great film to watch. Otherwise, it's just fun to watch. It's fun, it's heartwarming, it's beautiful. This copy I have is part of a collector's series. It does have, I think, the documentary attached to this, so I will see what I can find when I link this. Hopefully I can link a similar copy in the description. This is something I bought back before I left for the Peace Corps, and I love this film. It's the reason I'm covering it. It's April. I want to do something light. I want to do something fun. I love music. I'm bad at it. Little background. My parents tried to get me to play the violin in the first grade. It was a bad idea. I don't have that mindset. I don't have that type of patience. It's a big thing. I don't have that type of patience. I can focus on things for a certain period of time, particularly if I'm really into them, but I was not any good at playing the violin. It doesn't help that I am left-handed. So when you're dealing with a bunch of other people who's right-handed, it makes it more difficult. And it wasn't my thing. It was one of those things your parents pushed you into it. You really had no passion for it. And it's just not a good idea. My parents did that with me singing in a French choir and some sort of acting program. I'm an introvert. Why I do not get afraid why being on stage, none of that stuff was my thing. It just really wasn't, particularly not at that age. So I had to teach myself to be better at public speaking. But again, it was nonsense my parents forced me into without my input whatsoever. In fact, I probably told them no. This was not my thing, and I was forced to do it anyway because I don't know. Parents, don't do that to your kid. If they're not really interested in it, let it go. Just let it go. particularly when it comes to practicing a musical instrument. You really have to love and want to do this and have a passion for it to be any good at it. I think I remember accidentally forgetting that we had a performance in front of the school assembly once, probably because I didn't want to do it. And I sounded bad. I knew it. I broke at least one violin because I wasn't any good at it. So it was just, let's put you in an after school program because we want you to go away. Theme with my family. They want me to go away when I was a kid because they didn't comprehend I was different. So moving on, not going into my childhood, which was not fun. But back to this film. Again, great film, one of my favorites, heartwarming. It has Meryl Streep in it. I mean, seriously, she's probably one of the best actresses around because she's a character actress and she's really, really good at it. Adrian Quinn's okay. Angela Bassett plays the principal really well. And you see the character kind of evolve. I still love one of my favorite scenes in that film is how she just shows up at Roberta's house with food. And Roberta's like completely shocked. And then who is it? The mother is played by a famous actress. Cloris Leachman plays the mother, Roberta's mother. And one of my other favorite scenes is at the end when they're in the limo on their way to Carnegie Hall, and Roberta thanks her mother. She's like, "Don't thank me. Thank your ex-husband." She's like, "Why?" She's like, "If he hadn't divorced you, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be playing at Carnegie Hall." One of the other great films is they have her with, I believe it's the real Isaac Stern. And in fact, I'm going to check to see. I'm pretty sure Isaac Stern plays Isaac Stern. In fact, most of the violinists are actually playing. They're playing themselves. So let's see. Really, show me Isaac Stern. Let's see. Here it is. Yes, possibly. But and it shows. I think I can't remember who it was. No, it's Aesop Perlman. I think is the one who's known for. Yeah, this is the guy she interacts with. He's, I think, known almost for rescuing Carnegie Hall. It definitely shows him playing. Looking at his Wikipedia page. Let's see. Think. Yep. Let's see if he's. No, but again, they show her being shown. She comes to look at Carnegie Hall, and she's been playing the violin since she was young. And Meryl Streep plays the character at just wonder looking at this thing. I mean, it's massive. And he comes down from his office, and he tells her, it's like, all these people who've played before, they're here with you. They're here with the kids. And that's what she tells them, her kids, when they're going out there, because they're playing in front of thousands of people. And she tells them, don't pay attention to that. Watch me. Pay attention. You know this. It's in your heart. It's in your hands. Don't be afraid. And just go out there and play like I know you can play. And again, heartwarming film, probably something she may have said, because you got to imagine a lot of these are elementary school kids playing in a venue like Carnegie Hall. And it's huge, and there's thousands of people, and they're playing with these premier violinists. And I don't think they'd played with them before. They met them this one night. And it's amazingly done. It's an amazing real story. So, and again, heartwarming. I mean, there's a lot of darkness in this world. Sometimes it's fun to close the door and watch something that just makes you happy and to remind yourself that there's good in the world. And of course, again, I'm going to do a quick look at, I think I can do a quick link to Opus 118. I'm going to do a quick search on that. I know it looks like there's a Wikipedia page on it. See if I can see if there is a Wikipedia page on it. No, there's not a Wikipedia page on it. I'm pretty sure, however, there should be a web page for it. Opus, yes, the Harlem School of Music. So it does exist. So yeah, it's the Kaufman Music Center, Opus 118, Harlem School of Music. So let's see, I wouldn't be surprised she's still involved. Let's see. I will link the website to this as well, just so you have a familiar connection to it. Let's see. Doesn't exactly see various different things. I don't see her name on it, but it is an amazing music program. Let's see. Here's the Kaufman Music Center. So this is the 118 Harlem School of Music. So they are in partnership with the Kaufman Music Center. So, and you have the whole story of, yes, so you used to have her full story, Roberta's entire story, here on this website. So, and how the events of the book mostly happened, the concert happens in 1991. And it talks about Arnold Steinhardt and Isaac Perlman and Isaac Stern, how they come together for the original Fiddle Fest. And they, along with Arnold's wife, Dorothea von Hoften, they work to save the program. And it, well, obviously they did it because it still exists. So, and it's an amazing story. They talk about the film. And let's see, in 2002, it expanded on the success of in-school program and established a comprehensive community music school. So they're able to meet more needs of the community. So again, great story, great film. I will link a copy of this in there, as well as a link to this Kaufman school, so you can learn about the real story and the real history behind this story. So one of my favorite films. Yes, a little rambly, but it's a feel-good movie, and you can't really beat it. And I love feel-good movies because sometimes you need it. I own this copy. I have for a while. I will definitely be showing this to my kid, probably multiple times, because I want to install a love of music. I have a love of music. I'm just not any good at it. Happy to admit that I'm not any good at it. I can play the keyboard a little bit. When I had one, I think I got rid of it because it was taking up space and I wasn't using it. So, and music is amazing. And as is this story, and as is obviously Meryl Streep. I'll hopefully cover more of Meryl Streep. We will see. So that's it for this review. If you like what you see, I have a whole bunch of other videos. Please sure to check out my channel, like and subscribe. I have a bunch of stuff planned. Check out my library. I have a lot of playlists of children's books, films, some secular, non-religious, homeschooling stuff, some travel stuff done here and there. So please sure to check it out if you like what you see. And I have a whole bunch more planned. So thank you.